Okay, so we're now recording, everyone. And again, thank you very much for joining us. We're excited to tell you about Matalan apprenticeship opportunities. In particular, this session is focusing around buying and merchandising opportunities that we've got. Quick introductions.
I'm Fabiola. I work at the Fashion Retail Academy, head of apprenticeships, and work really closely with Gary and his team to forge this amazing opportunity at Matalan for buying and merchandising training, basically. So I will run through what you'll do with us at the FRA, but I'm here to tell you more about the learning side of the apprenticeship.
Brilliant. So Fabiola, looking forward to finding more about the apprenticeship program that the guys will go on and what they'll learn, the different modules, and more about the qualification and how they pass that qualification as well, and the experience to get.
Yep.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Ria, over to you. Do you want to introduce yourself? You may be on mute. Have we lost Ria at the wrong time?
No, I'm back.
You're back.
Lose me. I'm back. You did lose me. I think my neighbour turned all their Wi-Fi things on. So I'm Ria. I'm one of the buyers at Matalan. I work on the men's department. I look after men's casual tops. That's everything from a vest to a polo to a hoodie and jogs. I also look after the Solux range, which is ladies, men's and kids sportswear. I started at Matalan back in 2011 after graduating with MMU on the fashion buying course, and I started as a trainee, and then I've worked up as what you want to do through the ranks. So I've gone from trainee to assistant to junior, and now I'm a buyer.
Excellent. So it's been quite a journey for you, hasn't it, Ria?
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. And we're hoping the guys on today's call can follow the same footsteps as you. That will be amazing.
I think the one great thing about this is that it's so clear for them to be able to follow.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. So we'll look forward to hearing more from you about the team and bringing to life the role, a day in the life of a buyer at Matalan, and some of the things that the guys can look forward to and what they'll get exposed to. Is that right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Good stuff. Thank you very much. And then just to wrap up the introductions, my name's Gary Barnes. I'm part of the Matalan Early Careers team. My strapline is passion for people development. I joined Matalan just over 5 years ago now. That's part of the learning and development team. And over the last few years, my role has evolved into talent development, early careers, which can be anything from placement programs to apprenticeships to traineeships, and also internal talent development programs as well. So today's focus is around apprenticeships. So for anyone who's looking to kickstart a career in retail, in fashion with Matalan, then you've come to the right insight session. Okay, so moving the introductions on. So what you're going to get out of the next hour or so, and we will try and keep it to an hour for you, we'll do our best, is we're going to tell you first of all a little bit of why we believe Matalan is a perfect place, the perfect employer for you to kickstart your career, particularly in retail and if you've got a passion for fashion. Ria's going to tell us more about the role as a buyer and merchandiser, some of the activities you'll get yourself involved in and that you can look forward to, and also a little bit more about the environment, the team and the culture at Matalan that you can also look forward to and will support your development and your future career. Fabiola from the Fashion Retail Academy, as you mentioned earlier, will tell you more about the development program, so specifically the apprenticeship program that you'll gain, and also the qualification that you will work towards achieving, which is really exciting, and it's fully funded as well, so no need to pay for it. And then we'll wrap up today's session back with myself around the application and recruitment process, so hints, tips, in terms of application and interviewing, and also the timeline sort of from submitting your application all the way through to starting your role. And then, as I say, at the very end, we'll leave it open for some Q&A as well. Okay. So first of all, guys, I didn't want to do a presentation or a session that was all one way. So I'm intrigued to know what you do know about Matalan. So this is your opportunity to get involved now and use the chat feature on Zoom, which is at the bottom of your screen. And make sure you set it to everyone so everyone else can see it. But I've got 4 quick questions just to kickstart the session off. And I'd love to see what your answers are in the chat box. Okay, so here we go. We don't score, you don't worry. It's just a little bit of fun. So question number 1, does anyone know who founded Matalan? Who was our founder? So use the chat feature, guys, if you want to interact. Alternatively, you can shout at the screen on mute if you want to. Is anybody typing in chat box, or is this going to be one of those questions? Oh, there we go. Alfie straight in there with John Hargreaves. Keris on John Hargreaves as well. Well done. Lauren, we're getting them all now. We've got John, we've got Hargreaves, we've got John Hargreaves, which is the correct answer, guys. Well done. So our founder was John Hargreaves. It's a family-run business, and if someone's gone the extra mile and popped an extra answer in there, jumped ahead a little bit, well done to you. It's a family-run business founded by John Hargreaves, whereas his family, in particular his children, are involved in the business as well. And that's what we really love about Matalan. It's got a family feel to the business, and you'll get to see that for yourself. Okay, so question number 2, you know what to do, use the chat feature. We'll just move this box out of the way so you can see it. So question 2, what year did we open our first store? Someone has jumped in quickly already there without giving it away, but do you know when did we get founded? When was our first store opened? Type it in the chat box. How many people are Googling it now? When was Matalan founded? If you've typed in someone's gone the 1980s, yes, to be more exact, it was 1985. So we're a 35-year-old business. Okay, for no extra points, but do you know which was our first store, anybody? What was the first store that we opened in 1985? Okay, you think it was Liverpool, but someone's gone Bamber Bridge and Preston. That will be the correct answer. Well done. So it was Preston and Bamber Bridge. However, I can understand why someone would think Liverpool, with the Hargreaves family being Liverpool-based. And actually, before Matalan started in 1985, John Hargreaves had market stalls in Liverpool. Then he travelled over to LA, got inspired by the out-of-town shopping experience and concept, and brought that back here. And then Matalan just basically flourished from there in the out-of-town stores. Okay, so well done. So it was founded by John Hargreaves in 1985. Our first store was Preston. Question number 3. Do you know how many people Matalan employ at all? Bearing in mind, we've got head office, retail, and logistics. 3 key business areas. How many people do Matalan employ? Wow, so a couple of people have gone for 15,000. I think someone's gone 1,500. Hopefully there should be another note on top of that. So 1,500 is just the DC alone, the distribution center alone. Okay, we've got 8,000, 10,000, 16,000. At least you're going in the right direction. Approximately, I think Keris has just gone there with 13,000, and Holly, that will be a correct answer. Approximately 13,000 employees across the 3 business areas. That's head office, approximately 600 to 700 people. The DC distribution center, about 1,500. And then the rest in retail. So again, 11,000, something like that in retail. Okay, and the very last question for you. How many stores do we have in the UK? Just the UK alone. We are global, but this question is the UK only. Again, let's have a look at that chat box. 150, 217, 200. Keep going, 230 from the iPad. Well done. India's gone 230. Bethany's gone 230. You guys have done your research. Well done. So approximately 230 stores in the UK. Again, majority of them are out of town stores, but we are also on the high street. And as you'll get to find out in a minute, we are also international as well. Okay, so well done, guys. You've impressed me there. You do know your stuff and you have done your research. Well done. Okay, so let's move that on. So Matalan, as you can see there, we have over 13,000 colleagues across 3 different business areas. And we service our customers throughout 230 stores internationally as well, approximately 40 stores internationally, and ever-growing e-commerce channel as well online, which is obviously during the pandemic being bigger and more important than ever. So we employ people from all different walks of life, all different passions and backgrounds and experiences. And as a business, we are massively passionate about early careers. So we want, and we do it really well, invest in the next generation of talent coming through to help inspire, shape the future of Matalan and retail. And that's our vision. We want to seek out and inspire the next generation of talent to help shape the future of Matalan and retail, all while giving you a fantastic future career as well. Okay, so that's what this session's all about, is to support people at the beginning of their career journey or looking to take a change in their career, in particular in fashion, for buying and merchandising. Okay, so why do we believe Matalan is the perfect place, the perfect employer and environment to kickstart any career? Well, you know, from your research, you would have seen that we are one of the UK's leading clothing and home retailers. We pride ourselves on offering quality fashion and home products for outstanding value. And we're very, very customer focused, and we're predominantly servicing our customers in our out of town locations. We have a fantastic culture at Matalan. We're friendly, we're vibrant business, we're a family run business. We're based in Knowsley in Liverpool, which is a great unique selling point in the Northwest. To work for an organisation like Matalan as a buying or merchandiser in the Northwest of England is very rare. And to do it in a company like Matalan, where you'll see what all the great things you get to support your career, again, is very rare and very exciting for you guys as well. We're a successful business, as you've just found out there. We are 35 years old. Our first store was in Preston in 1985. We've now grew our store portfolio to over 230 stores in the UK. Although the slide says 35 internationally, I think we're more on 40 now. And just to name a small number of countries that we do have Matalan stores in, places like Malta, Gibraltar, the Middle East, Egypt, Kosovo, and that list is continuing to grow as well. So we do have a really solid and continuously growing international presence as well. And obviously, as I mentioned earlier, e-commerce is massive for us. It's growing day on day, month on month, year on year, particularly now more than ever. Which links to the next point. We're a business that is forward thinking. We're continuously evolving. And now more than ever, some of our projects to accelerate our digital and omni-channel experience for the customer may have been 6 months, 12 months down the line, but we've fast-tracked that now because that's the way we do things. We can adapt quickly. We work in a fast-paced environment. We service the customer's demands when they're needed and when they change. And as a business, we're able to turn and change directions very quickly. And we are always looking to continuously evolve to manage and meet the customer's expectations. And you guys will play a huge role in that, moving us forward. One thing that our colleagues, in particular the younger generation, when they come in and join Matalan, whether that be from work experience, a university placement opportunity, or through an apprenticeship, the biggest bit of feedback that our colleagues and students really enjoy is the real life experience. They're not coming to join the business, and these roles aren't for you to come and join and make cups of tea or coffee or observe and feel like a spare part. You will own a role within the team. You'll get real responsibility. You'll get accountability. You'll get empowerment, autonomy. You will lead. You will support. You will own your workload. And you'll make a massive difference. You'll press a button and you'll see the light go off. And that is the bit that our colleagues and students that do come and join us, and new colleagues when they join us, they absolutely love about Matalan. And you can see that on the various employer sort of feedback channels out there as well, that you do get real life responsibility at Matalan. Okay. We're very proud of our 35-year history. I'm not going to read every single year on that page. However, what you can do is head over to matalan.jobs and you'll be able to see this page. It will tell you all the things, some of the things that we're really proud of over our 35-year existence. To name a few and pull a few highlights out, the charity work that Matalan do is unbelievable. We are one of the longest standing and biggest charity partners of the NSPCC, also known as Childline. And in fact, we go one further than that. In 2007, in Liverpool, the NSPCC opened the John Hargreaves Centre, named after our founder, for all the fantastic work we do to support that amazing charity, to support vulnerable children. We equally have a fantastic relationship with Alderhay more locally. And we do the year-on-year pyjama campaign with all money, all profit to go into charity, into that particular charity, looking after sick children and supporting their families. And we do some brilliant work with the Retail Trust to support all our colleagues in retail with wellbeing initiatives and support. And we also work with an organisation over in Bangladesh. We opened up schools in Bangladesh to support the children of the factory workers, to give them a really good solid education and hopefully set them up for a future successful career like what you're looking to do here today as well. So we do some great charity work. I mentioned we are international and we are also on the high street as well, just to name a few of the other highlights on that page. Okay, so should you be successful with this apprenticeship role, you'll be based at our Knowsley head office site just on the edge of Liverpool. And our head office is home to approximately 700 employees split across the trading floor and our support teams. So the trading floor will be buying, merchandising, design, sourcing, our technical services teams. Our support teams are like your IT, finance, HR, marketing, e-commerce teams, and health and safety and teams like that to support you to do your job as well as you can. We're easily accessible from the East Lancashire Road, which runs right past our premises. We're also accessible just off the M58 and in equally the M57. There are bus routes and train stations nearby, and we do have on-site free parking, so there's no need to pay and travel or walk to get on site. It's literally on the doorstep of the office. At head office, we have ongoing events and opportunities taking place to keep you engaged. We want to create a great place to work at Matalan. We want engaged, highly motivated and passionate colleagues working with us. And the way we do that is through various on-site activities and benefits and opportunities for you to get involved in. Ria, bringing you into play here, you've worked at Matalan a long time now. I suppose over the years, you've seen quite a lot of events and opportunities taking place at head office.
Yeah, absolutely, especially in the new one. We have everything from the 12 days of Christmas running up to Christmas, obviously. We have the market stalls in every week pre-COVID. We even have a veg man that comes in, which is fabulous.
Sweet stores, chocolate stores.
Yeah, we had this fudge man, and literally, it was pick and mix, and the office goes wild for him. And I think that's the main thing out of COVID that everyone's missed is the fudge man.
Yeah, absolutely. Uncle Peter's fudge.
Uncle Peter's fudge.
Isn't it? Yeah. But you mentioned there about different traders coming in each day. We also run various, it could be development events, it could be Christmas markets, it could be Christmas quizzes, and all kinds of different activities to keep you involved and engaged. So that's something you can look forward to once the pandemic moves on, which hopefully isn't too far away. On site, it's a fresh new building. It's only 5 years old now. We have breakout rooms for you to switch off and relax and enjoy your personal time, and also allow you to be innovative and creative with your thinking. An on-site canteen serving hot and cold food, and they do support various dietary requirements. I can vouch for that being plant-based, and there's discounted Costa coffee as well to keep you going throughout the day as well. So it's a brilliant head office site where you can really, really perform to your best in a nice environment that encourages you to develop, grow, and be successful. Okay, moving that slide on. At the heart of everything we do at Matalan are our 4 key values: think customer, think family, be real, and be the best. They are in our thinking and everything we do, they underpin everything that we do, the way we work, the way we interact, the way we perform, the way we service our customers. So as they say on the tin, think customer. If it doesn't add value to the customer, we don't do it. We'll challenge each other on that. We put the customer first in everything that we do. We're a very customer focused business. Equally, we care about our people and our family. Our people make us who we are. We know together we're stronger, and we're proud to be part of the Matalan family. Be real. We like to treat each other as we'd like to be treated. We're very much down to earth. We show trust and respect regardless to whatever role you do and whatever level you are within the organisation. And again, as it says on the screen there, be the best. We take responsibility. We learn fast when things could be better. And we challenge ourselves to be the best we can be at all times. Okay, and again, if you want to know more about our values, we're on our careers page, www.matalan.jobs. I know for the young generation coming through now, and in particular, if you're looking for a career in fashion, sustainability is going to be something that you're really passionate about, or potentially something you're passionate about. Well, we are the same. We share your passion. So through various initiatives and campaigns and activities across head office, the distribution centre and retail, we're doing our best to be sustainable and protect and support the economy. Is it the economy? You know what I mean? We're trying to be as green and lean as possible through plastic reduction, through recycling initiatives, using sustainable raw materials, and even carbon emissions. You know, in our transport team, we've reduced our carbon emissions in the last couple of years by 25%, which is brilliant for the environment. And I know, Ria, working in buying with products, sustainable raw materials is something that as a business and as a team, and I'm sure you are very, very passionate about.
Yeah, we have a brilliant sourcing department that supports the buying teams. And this goes from everything from making sure that the factories are safe to work in and they tick all the boxes that they're supposed to do, to we use BCI cotton now, which you'll have seen on many a swing ticket whenever you buy anything now. And that's making sure that the cotton that we buy from is from a sustainable source, but also that the farmers are working from a sustainable source as well. We've looked at all the tickets and our packaging and making sure that where we can, that they're recyclable. And again, it's just something that's continuing. So we, like on Solux, on the sports, we're looking at recycled polyesters. But again, this is where sourcing really helps us to make sure that everything that we do is right and is on track for sustainability.
Brilliant. And even as well, when products don't sell in our store, rather than it go to landfill, we donate that to charity. So we are always thinking green, protecting the environment and looking for different opportunities, whether it be small or big. You know, we do our bit. So again, if you share your passion about sustainability, then so do we. In terms of charity, I mentioned earlier, you know, our key sort of charity partners, NSPCC, Alderhay, the Retail Trust and School of Hope. And again, if charity is something you're passionate about and want to get involved in, then you'll be joining the right business. This is just a small snapshot of some of the amazing things that our colleagues, in partnership with our charity partners, get involved in to support national and local charities, whether that be triathlons, marathons, cake bake sales. We're actually in the Guinness World Book of Records, believe it or not, for the longest 5K joined up pajama walk in Liverpool. And you can see Jason Hargreaves there, son of John, holding up the certificate in his pajamas there. So there's all kinds of different things that we do to support, to play our part in supporting national and local charities. So again, that's something you want to get involved in, there'll be more than enough for you to get your teeth into. Okay, drawing towards the end of my section. So we equally care about well-being for our colleagues, which is important, but more important now than ever, given that we're well and truly deep into a pandemic and have been for quite a while now. So what we do to support our colleagues and what we'll do to support you is every Wednesday we do Wellbeing Wednesdays. We're sharing info, hints, tips, advice, webinars, videos, websites, just to keep the momentum going and raise awareness of well-being. We run various well-being workshops and webinars. We have an online well-being space on our development site that's exclusive and available for you to use as and when you need it. And we team up with the Retail Trust. We're a fantastic charity and we pay for their well-being hub. which gives you access to exclusive wellbeing content, whether that be finance, mental health, development, and all other kinds of wellbeing subjects that we know our colleagues do take advantage of as and when they need it. We even do the small things like upon entry into head office, there'll be fresh fruit available for you to take to your desk. And Ria mentioned there we have the fruit and veg guide coming on weekly as well, providing fruit and veg. Wellbeing day, all colleagues get a free wellbeing day on top of their annual leave, so they can do whatever they want with that, whether it's having a day on the sofa watching movies, a spa day, you know, going out walking, whatever that day looks like for you, you get that wellbeing day off free on top of your annual leave. And there's healthy eating options available on site as well. And there are various health and wellbeing initiatives running throughout the year as well. So we are a business that cares about our people and cares about your well-being. Okay. Employee benefits. So what will you get when you join Matalan? Well, you'll get 25 days annual leave. And obviously you get your bank holidays on top of that as well. You get your one well-being day. Every Friday, you get the initiative and the opportunity to finish early on a Friday. You get ×2 life assurance as well. You get the option, it's optional to opt into the Matalan pension scheme. All colleagues get 20% staff discount at Matalan plus an additional nominated user. And also you get access to our family extra online discount site where you get discounts with various retailers. I've personally used that at Christmas and I got something like 10% off at Apple, and that saved me a fortune. So you have access to all kinds of discounts with other partner retailers that we work with as well. Okay, so you are getting really good benefits as an employee at Matalan. Okay, so I'll give you a quick introduction to life at Matalan and what you can expect, what you can look forward to, and a little bit about our culture. What I want to do next is hand over to Ria to tell you a little bit more about the role itself. So if you've been on our careers site, you'll know that at the moment we've just launched 6 apprenticeship vacancies, 4 in buying and merchandising, 1 in finance and 1 in imports and customs. The focus of this session is to talk more about buying and merchandising. So on that note, I'll hand over to Ria, who's worked with Matalan since 2011, to tell you a little bit more about the various teams that you'll be working with and in as well. Over to you, Ria.
Okay, so as I said before, I work on the menswear department, and I've worked on the menswear since I started. But the one great thing about this course is that you've got so many different departments that you can go in. There's ladies, there's men, there's kids, and because you'll be doing it in like bite-sized chunks of 6 months, you'll be able to go across all of the different ones to get a good foundation across different areas. Because although I was in menswear for so long, I've still taken on sportswear on ladies and on kids, because they're like your skills are transferable across. I've put a bit on here about the teams at Matalan. So every team has like a design, a buyer and a merchandiser, and then you'll have your teams underneath them, so your trainees, the assistants, the juniors. But basically that's your little hub. So for me on cash tops and jogs, there's myself and there's Dan on the merchandise, and then we've got the teams underneath, so there's like Helen and Alex and all the rest of the team, and that's like your little family, and we all work together dead hard to make sure that the ranges that we put together are exactly what the customer wants them to be, and that the customers are going to be loved. And there's no better feeling than being sat somewhere out and about and watching someone walk past in something that you've bought or had the involvement in buying or bringing in on time, and that they've gone out and spent their own money on buying it. The team are always hard working. That's the main thing I'll say about Matalan, is it is hard working, but the rewards are so good with it. It is fast paced, like any fashion industry that you'll go into, and it is adaptable. You've got to be adaptable, especially the last year that we've been in with like COVID, because we have been working in the office, we've been working at home, we've been cancel, we've been sell, we've been sell out, we've been everything, and you've just got to be that adaptable and changeable with it. But the main thing about it is it's so friendly and it's so fun and it's enthusiastic, and we all get on. And like on menswear, I can say we have like the best like nights out socially. We all get on. It's like one big family. If anybody ever leaves it, it's always, oh, it's the family that's keep us here, it's the friends, it's the people that we've made. it's the strategy days. Gary's been on some of our strategy
No.
days where we've been in gardens and we've been like marshmallow rivers and everything. And for all the hard work that you put in, it comes out at the end, and you make, like, one of my best friends now is my designer. She is, and you know, like, we've traveled around the world together, just dropped off in Bangladesh and like head out with everything that we do. But I would say that, but it is hard work, and it is fast paced, and it is just knuckle down and get on with it. But the rewards are so good from what you'll get out of it. Absolutely. And then I think we've got a bit about the role. So there's like the role that we do like generically, and that is where we take an idea and we take something at the very beginning of like a blank piece of paper. So whether you're the merchandising, you're like, right, well, we've got to redo our budgets. What's the opportunities that we've missed? What's this? What's that? What's the other? Or you're a designer, it's like, what's the trend? What have I seen coming through in WGSN? Or whether it's the buy-in side and we're like, right, what's the newness that we're seeing from like the high-end stores? Or, you know, what colour worked well? What was our best sellers like at line level? And then from there, we create this new season. So we'll go into strategies and we've got to sell what we're going to be doing to our heads of. And from there we carry it on. So it's goes from CAD based to like numbers based, to actually seeing garments, to negotiating it, to the merchants placing the orders and making sure that we're buying the right amount, we've got the right amount of options, we've got the right amount of quantities, and it's buying, saying, no, I want that green t-shirt in as well. And then it's like all working together to get it to a place where we're fitting, we're working with QA, we're going across the board, we're all working with marketing, we're getting it so that it's going to be on the right Instagram, social medias, on the right bloggers. And then we're working across that into with VM to make sure it's laid out in stores how you want, and you've got the right amount of space, and you're working with space planning to then actually getting it on a boat and getting it in store, and then seeing that at the end. And that's where, like, wherever you are in that full season, we'll be working 3 seasons at once. So for now, we're in spring, summer 21. So that's what the product we've got in or coming in. But at the same time, we're still signing off autumn, winter. So we're still placing that. And then we're just about to start thinking about spring, summer 22. So again, you're at different points at each area, and that's something that you'll get involved in, and that's why it's so like changeable and fast paced, because 1 minute you talk about spring summer 21, the next minute you talk about autumn winter, the next minute you talk about spring summer 22. But on a day-to-day basis, no day is ever the same. No job day that comes through is ever the same. The only one that is a Monday morning, and you've got trade all morning, and that's like your best sellers. But other than that, you're always working on something different. You're always working more on like your email. So obviously, no matter which area you go into, it's emailing. You'll be emailing to your suppliers in the Far East. So whether they're in India, Bangladesh, China, where you've got approvals, whether it's shipping approvals or colour approvals. You'll be working with on benchmarking, on shopping competitors. You've still got all the daily admin in there. Rack ups, rack downs, it's so busy, but there's never ever one day that's the same as the other. And with this, there's so much that goes on, there's so much to build that great foundation, and you'll have something like you'll know with all the studies that go on with the university side, because you'll just have first-hand experience. And the main thing that I'll say, like on our department, especially on menswear, is that we're so good at bringing people through with us and to be involved in absolutely everything. So if we're going comp shopping, like merchants will come out comp shopping with us. You know, if we're range building, we're all range building. It doesn't matter if you're buyer, it doesn't matter if you're junior, it doesn't matter if you're trainee, it doesn't matter if you're merch, designer, whatever. We're all in there together because everyone's got a say with it. And then that's how we keep it going through. It's very exciting.
Wow, I think I'm in the wrong job. I think I want to come and work with you.
Absolutely. As you know, if I wasn't in it, I'd be converting myself. I even make merchandising sound like something I want to go into then. Yeah,
you got me at Travel the World. Yeah, so what's inspiring there is that one day is never the same, but you've got a team of people working cohesively, collaboratively, you know, all coming to the common goal. And like you say, I can imagine the fulfillment and the reward and the satisfaction when you launch a season and you're seeing real customers spending their money on your product, on store or online, in store, online, and walking the streets eventually, and the product that you and your team have worked together to bring to market. That must be amazing.
Yeah, the celebration, like, because at the minute you don't see that many people, so you just have to look through the numbers. So it's like Monday trade, but when you see like something that you brought in and you may be a little bit iffy about it, and you saw like 2,000 people bought it, we have this like little pot of bubbles on the desk, and it's like they get cracked open when it's like a celebration for everyone. And it sounds so daft, but like you've worked so hard to get that one little t-shirt in or whatever to get in, or you've trialed something to get that in, or if the car's picked up, or you know, if something was a slow sell at the beginning then it's come up, or even if it is a slow seller, the learnings that you take from it, it's all about how you keep learning, and it's all about like I said, that hard work of, and then right, well, he didn't like that, so what's he going to like next time? Or she didn't like that on sportswear, and why didn't she like that, and let's dig more into that. And then that's for us all to do, whether you're buying or whether you're merchandising. We've all got a role to play in it.
Brilliant, really. It sounds amazing. Thank you so much for bringing the role to life, and tells more, gives an insight into the team and the buying and merchandising team. We're not done yet there though, are we, Ria? So you've had a really exciting career pathway to date, and that's continuing. You're not done yet. You want to be a senior buyer in the future, is that right?
Yeah, obviously, yeah, and I'd love to be head of.
So that's the ultimate goal, is it? Head of your department.
Head of would be ultimate one, yeah.
Amazing. So anyone who's with us today, talk through the pathway available to them in buying and merchandising at Matalan. So I've just highlighted the first two roles there.
Yeah. So the admin assistant, that's our new role. So that's with the apprenticeship. So obviously we didn't have that before. You had to have a university degree. So I just think it's brilliant, because having done that university degree myself, if there was this option, I'd have well gone for it. And that's where you'll be really like supporting the teams and understanding what that role is. And then as you get onto trainees, that's what they come in as now from university. That's like one of the most important roles, because that is what will give you the foundation for everything that you're going to take throughout when you get to senior buyer or head of. As long as you had that basis of, you know, some movement round, so you get to know all like the different fabric bases, you know, understanding the critical path, understanding the supply base, understanding like, right, well, sample management, we'll get rid of that season, we don't need that season anymore, we'll freshen it up, we've got new things coming in. And just like even post, everything like that is so important to know. And then as you get to trainee, you'll start nibbling on the heels of an assistant, and you'll want to take on what they're doing, and that's when you're like ready for the assistant. An assistant, you'll get to like look after your own part of a range, so a segment of that. And then again, you'll nibble on the toes of the juniors, where you get to like look after a full department, where you'll still link into a buyer. So I have that with Solux, like I'm the buyer, but I have a junior on there. So Ellie looks after Solux, but she still reports into me, and I still like check in, make sure she understanding everything, if there's anything else there, and then she'll like nibble on the toes of me to get to buyer. And then seniors, where you step in for your head of, and then obviously when you get to head of. And the great thing about Matalan is we put so much time and energy and effort into like bringing these people on, and to take on like young talent and to nurture it through like the L&D team, even through like the roles that we do. So like I've got trainees now that are at buyer level, junior level, AB level. We've just brought Sophie, one of my trainees, she's just gone to assistant, but she did a placement year back when she was at uni at Matalan. So that's a really good like story for her, because now she's at assistant level. And I think because we offer home, we offer kids, we offer men's, we offer ladies, and within there's like footwear, there's blouses, there's dresses, there's all these different departments that you can go after. There's so much choice and breadth and width at Matalan.
And what's brilliant with this buying and merchandising admin assistant role, which is a brand new addition to Matalan through the apprenticeship, and Fabiola will tell us more about sort of the development and support you'll get from the Fashion Retail Academy on that journey, is you're going to rotate, guys. You're going to do 6 months in buying, 6 months in merchandising. And then at that point, I think you'll know your pathway. Do you want to be a buyer? Do you want to be a merchandiser? And then the last 6 months of your apprenticeship, you can go in either or. And you'll rotate around menswear, ladies, kids, and home. And Ria, you know from your own personal experience, and also, you know, your management, the more experience you can get in buying and merge and in the different departments, the more it will set any buyer or merchandiser up for a future success, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the the ones that really succeed are the ones that understand both sides of the roles. You don't have to know them inside out. You might be clearly for merchandising, but then if you are, it's having that like slight creativity where you want to know about your product, you want to have a look at your product, you want to, you know, you want to compare it, you have that flair for it, you want it to look good in store. And then again, if you're definitely for buying, you have to understand like, where's your money coming from, what ID your money's coming from out of, the shipping approval side of it, so that you get a good like wholesome, and that's the best way that you get the best out of your ranges. I love a little bit of merch stuff. I admit that I don't. I just tell them I don't, but I do love it. I do love it.
I know you do. So guys on the call, I think you can see there that, you know, starting as a buying admin assistant is a first step into what could be a really successful and very exciting career in buying or merchandising. And what's unique is in a moment when Fabiola tells us all about the sort of program on offer, what's unique about this is what a lot of people at trainee, assistant, junior and so on level don't have is that you know, that detailed experience of both sort of arms, the buying and the merchandising side. Yes, they pick it up along the way, but from step one, to have really solid foundation of both will only massively set you up for success. So we'll hear more about that in a moment. Just to wrap up this section, I've said it already, you know, through working with the buying and merchandising teams, whatever department that might be, you'll get real life responsibility. You're going to get amazing rewards and benefits, not only the benefits as an employee, but the rewards of putting hard work in. You will see progression, you will see exciting opportunities come your way. And then we will support you, our commitment to you through the apprenticeship program and the in-house development team, learning and development team, and you know, the experts on the shop floor, on the trading floor, like Ria and the team, and other, you know, buyers and merchandisers. They will take you under their wing and they will nurture and develop you into whatever it is you want to be in the future. So there's lots of development on offer, which leads us nicely into this slide. We have an award-winning learning and development team that provide what we call Matalan Education, which is our internal development offer. Whereas a new buyer or merchandiser joining Matalan, you have a brilliant induction onboarding program, probably the best in the industry without being biased. You will have access to technical and behavioural online masterclasses and face-to-face masterclasses to develop your presentation skills, or you know, your intake management skills, or whatever that might be. We have masterclasses delivered by subject matter experts. There's online learning modules 24/7. You can grab and go learning. We have structured development programs, whether that's again as a buyer or a merchandiser, or management and leadership programs. We have a development tool that will help you progress up that pathway that we've just showed you, from buying a merchandising admin assistant all the way through up to head of department. And also as well, upon completion of the apprenticeship, which Fabiola will tell us about in one moment, there's opportunity to study other degree and master level apprenticeship programs as well at Matalan, fully funded with no burden of any student debt. Okay. Right, so you've heard from me in terms of Matalan's culture. You've heard from Maria about the role and the teams and the opportunities. Let's hear from Fabiola about the Fashion Retail Academy and the apprenticeship and qualification on offer. Fabiola, over to you.
Thanks very much, Gary and Ria. What a great intro and segue into what we do at the Fashion Retail Academy. For us, the program is really, the agenda, my agenda. I'm trying to keep it really tight in the tight amount of time I've got. But to give you a really quick overview of what an apprenticeship is, I know it's bandied about a lot, and you know, there might be certain terms and things we've said that you may not be clear of, but it's just to give you a really quick overview, who we are at the FRA, an overview of the program so that you can see the modules, the topics, and the types of assignments you'll be asked to do, and the program support that is available for you as well. And then the Q&A that will follow. So in terms of what we do, we are a specialist fashion retail college based in the heart of London, but fear not, we offer a fully online program. So regardless of you being based in Liverpool, if you're successful on this program, you will be fully fledged with our full lay of the program. Our mission really is what it says there. We want to be the world's home for fashion and retail education and training, the world's best. And we want to match your future ambitions and work with industry to make sure that we are building this amazing talent pipeline that's going to follow that career path that Ria and Gary have just shown us, so that you come onto a program with us and that trajectory just becomes the norm for someone on an apprenticeship program. We are specialists in programs like this. We deliver apprenticeship and other work-based qualifications. So we are well versed in supporting people who have full-time jobs. We've started apprenticeship since 2017, worked with quite a few brands, and there is a snapshot of some of the brands that we work with on apprenticeship programs, including Matalan, of course, right there.
Some big names there, isn't it, Fabiola? So obviously very credible and good at what you do. Yes,
we'd like to believe that. Yeah, absolutely. So why study with us? Really, the greatest asset we have are the experts who will teach you on the program. So for every module that you are taught, you will be taught by somebody who has done that as an occupation, and quite often to a very high level, directorship or head of, in their working lives, and they're now lecturing with us, usually part-time, sometimes full-time, but and also working in the industry. So you're getting fresh, hot off the press. So somebody, with the caliber that Ria is working at, but is also doing some lecturing with us. So, all that fresh industry knowledge, challenges, issues are being brought to the classroom. You're not doing anything academic. So for those of you who are thinking this, is this really going to be that academic? It's not. This is purely vocational. The focus is on your training, on this job role, on the 6-month rotations that you're doing, and bringing to life from your work and applying the knowledge that you pick up with us at the SPRA to make sure that you're really learning and progressing. We have a proven record of delivering Buying and Merch programs. We have done so since the beginning in 2005 and have just built this amazing portfolio of teachers, materials, workshops, you name it. And for those of you who are familiar with Ofsted, we are Ofsted Outstanding, which means the quality of the teaching, learning, and student experience that we provide has been rated the top of the scale in terms of measuring against what Ofsted demands. And the experience of our learners genuinely is that we know how to support you guys when the challenges do come, because you are combining work and study.
That's unique about apprenticeships, isn't it? It's you get the theory, but it's the application, the practical element that really brings that to life, isn't it, Fabiola?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a program, no program you've ever done before. I assure you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
And on to the next one. So now this is it. So at the end of your 18 months, you will go away as buying and merchandising assistant. And you are going to gain this qualification as a result of what we call the apprenticeship levy. So whoever's successful in this is very fortunate, because Matalan will be fully funding this, because Matalan pay into what we call an apprenticeship levy, which is a tax that the government impose on large employers, so that it draws down money that is pooled into this levy that is used to fund apprenticeships. And there are some strict guidelines on on what an apprenticeship can be, but this opportunity is definitely one. It's a real job. You're with a really well recognized and well positioned employer, and as an apprentice, you're working towards an approved apprenticeship standard, which is the level 4 buying and merchandising assistant standard.
And is that equivalent, would you say, to like a foundation degree, Fabiola?
Foundation degree, yes.
Yeah.
Equivalent to a foundation. That's correct. And so for the next slide, successes really have taken place, and I'm not just saying that because I'm talking from the FRA. Over the past 3 years, the successes that have come through have been phenomenal, and I'm really keen to keep track of apprentices, particularly after they finish with us. So really interestingly, that career path, career flow that Ria showed us, I've got apprentices who did the apprenticeship with us in 2017, who were buying and merch admin assistants, who are now at buyer level. And I've got, direct, they've contacted me and they've kept in touch on LinkedIn, and I can see their profiles, and they've made those amazing moves in the period of 3 years. So the progression really is real, the development really is there, and the support from an employer like Matalan is the key really to progressing you and getting you to the next level. So those are some quotes of apprentices. The key is the networking, that some of the pullouts are the networking that they've been, as an apprentice, you get to be privileged to have. So you'll be in a group where you will be working with projects or group tasks with others from different brands, some of the brands you would have seen on the screen. So not only are you going to network with your colleagues from Matalan who are doing this apprenticeship, but also kind of a wider network of people that you get to meet as a result of doing this program. And that's also where I think a lot of the learning comes, that peer-to-peer sharing of best practice and new learns and tips and ways of working that only help you, support you to develop further.
I completely agree with that, Fabiola. I think the successful candidates or colleagues joining us on this on these roles on this program will go on that journey together, won't they? With people at the beginning of their buying and merchandising careers, but in all different organisations, and they will go on that journey together from a study perspective. But then obviously you'll be then applying that theory and that learning that you've took from various different sort of learning activities and applying them in the workplace with RIA and RIA's equivalent teams and stuff like that, whether it be men's wear, ladies wear, kids wear, etc. Brilliant.
Absolutely. So I've already kind of covered this, so I'll go straight in to how the program looks and feels in terms of the content and selected modules. So the first phase is really get you enrolled and inducted, and then there's the on-program phase, which is for about 16 months. After that 16-month period, you're ready for what we call gateway. And at this stage, your employer, your line manager, yourself, and the FRA will sit together and have a meeting and say, actually, you've met all the learning requirements, done all your assessments. We feel you've met all the duties required for a buying and merch admin assistant to meet, and you are therefore ready to complete your endpoint assessment. So EPA on that chart means endpoint assessment, and this is how apprenticeships are now assessed. You will complete a project which you will present to your assessor, and you'll also do a 75-minute professional discussion with a portfolio of evidence to support. And all of this will be evidence and work you have done all throughout the apprenticeship. So don't feel like it's an exam that you would never have seen before, or a way or an assessment method you would never have gone through before. All of these assessment methods you would have done whilst on the program. You will do at least 2 projects and present them whilst you're on the program. You'll also complete practice professional discussions in kind of exam conditions. You get the feel of how you complete a professional discussion confidently. And the great thing, and I have to say, this is I think the pièce de résistance of an apprenticeship is your project will relate back to Matalan. So your project idea must bring some commercial, innovative, or competitive advantage that Matalan can take on. And these projects are what we will hope you will come up with to present back to not only your assessor, but to your managers and leaders in the business. Because what has happened with other apprentices is that their projects have actually been piloted and rolled out in business because they were such great ideas at such low cost that businesses have implemented them. And I think if that happens for any apprentice, the joy and satisfaction and some of the traits that Ria was talking about really filters through. You really feel like you've really given something back that the business needs.
Brilliant. And Fabiola, I know on the next slide, we're going to see the different modules that you cover on program, but talk to us a little bit more about the on-program learning, just briefly. So how it says blended learning approach. So how will the guys gain the knowledge, skills and behaviors they need that they can apply back in the role?
So there'll be a mixture of workshops, which will be very practical, dynamic, and webinars, which will be more lecture style. They're shorter kind of half-day sessions, but the knowledge input is usually done and then followed up by the practical. So you will be given theories or principles as a foundation, and then probably ask the question, how does this work for you in the workplace? So you therefore then have to go away and really get to grips with what you've been taught. And then, even more importantly, learn about how it works in your business. And once you've done that, it doesn't end there. You learn about how it's applied across the board. So you don't just learn how retail works within your business, you learn how retail works across, actually, not just the UK, we're going global now. You've got to understand retail in the global context. So more and more, you're going to be using packages like WGSN, edited, got market research, websites, global data, because we are going to be really pushing to go out there and find the information, see who's doing well, who's not doing so well, why aren't they doing so well, what challenges are they facing, what opportunities does that then lend. Those are the kinds of discussions and pointers that you will be working through. And, you know, by virtue of doing your projects and having to work and network across teams, so, you know, you're not just going to talk with buyers or just merchandisers. You might have to liaise with the finance or the sustainability, the team that works on sustainability or sourcing, as you will see in the module areas that will be covered. So it's a really kind of real dynamic mix, again, across buying and merchandising, to make sure you really have those solid foundations to get to grips with the roles, both roles, so that you can progress in either.
Brilliant, good stuff. So lots of opportunity.
Lots
and then
yeah. So here
and then
it is.
The structure of the program.
So the program kicks off with the retail landscape. So you look at what retail business is in terms of the external environment, and you know, the pandemic has offered some amazing discussions and pointers for what retail used to be and what retail has become, and more importantly, what lies ahead. So, you know, it's not just about the now, you're always going to be pushed to be future focused, because we want you guys to be industry leading visionaries. That's the key thing that, you know, Ria will tell you, Gary will tell you, this is what industry needs you to become. Not to do what business as usual or what's always been done, but we're always going to be pushing you to think outside the box and bring new ideas to the fore. So after the retail landscape, you kind of go onto planning and budgeting. And with planning and budgeting, you're looking at a mix. So I know all of these aliens to you all, but once you're in, you really will get to grips with all of this. Because remember, as you're being taught, you are doing the job at the same time. So none of these words will be alien to you once you're involved. You look at your department strategy in relation to what the business holds as a corporate strategy. Start looking at how to build budget, season build, a bit of really mirroring some of the key tasks and responsibilities that Ria's talked through already. Look at trends, lessons learned, the supply chain, your supply chain base, how you manage performance of the suppliers, sourcing concepts, and sustainability and ethics are really, really big. I'm really glad that you brought it up earlier, because it's, again, a huge chunk of what's going to be discussed here in the context of today's world and fashion and retail. You then move to commercial range development, and in this module, you will complete a project. So you will be asked to complete and develop a commercial range of your own. And you look at critical path, the design process. I mean, mirroring exactly what Ria has taken you through, actually. But there's also the merchandising side to kind of encompass it all. Look at cost, profit and loss, how to plan your margins. And then the last main module is trading. So this is your merchandising module. So here, where all the numbers come to the fore in this module. For those of you who aren't the best in maths, so you think merchandising will be too technical for me, please be in the know that you're working with a really seasoned merchandiser who knows that you've not done this before. They will teach you from scratch, you know, the real basics, and build you up slowly on. Even if you don't work on a merchandise side or do not want to progress in that way, you will know enough to be a really good buyer, as Ria just said. So you'll become very well versed with all of these terms, You will be talking about them in the context of your role and within the role across the business. And then the end module is the preparation for your endpoint assessment. And we've deliberately taken this out separately because we want to really adequately prepare you ready for the endpoint assessment. So you will have both instructional sessions, workshops to practice, and then mock simulated kind of exams, assessment scenario opportunities to present the project and do professional discussion. So by the time you get to Gateway, you're ready. You know, you're good to go. And after Gateway, you have your project plan signed off and are given time to complete your work-based project and then present it back to your assessor. So it's all kind of follows a nice linear growth. Basically, you're starting from the basics, working your way right up. And having said that, whilst you're learning all of this, you're doing an amazing rotation every 6 months.
Absolutely.
At Matalan, have here.
Oh, Fabiola, we keep losing you. Are you still there?
Oh, am I back now? Sorry.
There we go. You're back.
There
Yeah.
we go. So
We've lost.
That's kind of it. Really.
We keep losing you, Fabiola.
Oh gosh. Am I back?
You're back. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So that's the kind of the crux of what the modules look like.
Brilliant. I think we've spoke about the endpoint assessment briefly, haven't we, in terms of they'll do projects, presentation, they'll build a portfolio, and they'll do a professional discussion talking through their portfolio. And and there's lots of preparation towards the end of the learning. So the learning is roughly 16 months.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yep. On some of those modules you've just spoken about, whether that be a webinar, face-to-face, one-to-one tutoring, on-the-job learning, projects, all different ways you'll learn and gain that knowledge. You'll apply it through projects in your portfolio, and then you'll wrap it up with a presentation or a professional discussion as well.
That's correct. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, guys, so there's going to be loads for you to get your teeth into theoretically, but more importantly, from a practical point of view, and you'll be able to showcase your progress, your learning, and your development through, as I say, through what we call the endpoint assessment, also known as EPA, and that's done at the very end of your program after you've done your 16 months worth of learning. But that 16 months is getting you ready for that moment. Okay. Fabiola, is there anything you would add to that before we move on to the last section?
No, go right ahead.
Brilliant. It sounds really exciting. And it works. I think it joined up really nicely with all the things Ria was saying about a day in the life of a buyer and merchandiser. It was great to see the modules that they cover on program with the Fashion Retail Academy massively falls in line with a typical day in the life of what this role will be about. And Ria, you're probably looking at all that thinking, wow, yeah, there's some really, really good, exciting modules that would definitely help them in the role. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm thinking, wow, I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Would you go back and do things differently if this?
Yes.
Yeah.
If this was available, absolutely, because there's one thing sitting in like a lecture and being told about, oh, this is how we do a fit review, or this is how you're going to do your sample management, to actually spending, you know, like each day doing it. And then you just understand it so much easier. And then obviously when I started, I was like, oh yeah, that's what they were talking about. Oh yeah, that's what they were talking about when they said this, and that's what they're talking about when they said that. Because they can't take you in and show you. They have to tell you in like a paper-based way.
Yeah. So to actually learn it and apply it almost instantly is just a game changer, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. Okay. So guys, thank you for Fabiola. Thank you very much for taking us through the apprenticeship program, the 16-month program. It's fully funded by Matalan. You get the endpoint assessment at the end to showcase your knowledge, skills, and behaviours. To complete your qualification, which is equivalent to a foundation degree. And there's some brilliant blended learning for you there to get your teeth into to learn all that knowledge, skill, and behaviour. Okay, so what are we looking for in this role? And this, you might be sat there thinking, this is me. Hopefully you are. Well, in a nutshell, the job description kind of listed some of the activities you'll be getting involved in from a buying and merchandising perspective. If you've not seen that yet, head over to our Matalan Jobs website and look at the vacancy. You'll see a really good detailed breakdown and some of the stuff that Fabiola and Ria spoke about today. And also you'll find a section about you and what are we looking, what individual, what person, what character, what personality are we looking for? Well, first of all, we need someone who has got a passion for fashion. That's really important. Whether you're going down the more creative route with buying or the more data and analysis route with merchandising, the two go hand in hand. And as Ria said, whatever route you go down, there's a crossover and you do need a passion for fashion. We want someone who's keen to learn, develop and grow and wants to be a future buyer or merchandiser. We want someone who's coming into this thinking long-term. They want a long-term career in buying or merchandising with Matalan in retail, because you can really, really make a difference and you can really have a successful long-term career with us. We're looking for a great team player, although it says great there, just to emphasize that. Someone who is a great team player with strong communication skills that can communicate in different scenarios, different situations with different levels within an organization. So I've got a confidence with their communication skills. We need someone who can, although you'll get loads of support and development, we want someone who can come in and take responsibility and manage their own workload. It links back to that real responsibility element. And we need someone, yes, you will be given clear direction, the clear support, and eventually you'll grow and you'll own that, you'll lead it, you'll be pushing the boundaries on it. And that is what we're looking for from somebody in this role. As Ria and Fabiola's mentioned already, working in fashion, whether it be Matalan or another organisation, is fast-paced and challenging, but extremely rewarding. So we need someone to be able to, who can work under pressure in a fast-paced environment that can adapt to different situations and weirdly enjoys that, wants to be involved in different things, given that your day will never be the same each day. You're going to be getting involved in different aspects. You're going to be learning new things, and you're going to be communicating and supporting and managing and looking after different relationships. We need you to be hardworking, passionate and committed, as we mentioned before. We would love someone who wants to come in and really step outside their comfort zone, that are just going to soak it up and think, yeah, I'm prepared to learn and grow and develop. Hit me with it. I want to learn new things. And naturally, your comfort zone will grow bigger and bigger and bigger, and you'll be wanting more stretch and more challenge along the way. And because you'll be developing through an apprenticeship program, through Fabiola's Fashion Retail Academy team, we want somebody who's going to come in and take responsibility for their own development and will drive their own development as well. If you're somebody that likes to be spoon-fed development, maybe this isn't the role for you, but because wants someone who really wants to come in and drive it, own it, and take responsibility for it. Okay. Obviously, as well as some mandatory requirements, minimum of 5 GCSEs, grades A to C or 9 to 5 in the new format. In particular, that includes maths and English. And what would be brilliant for this, very advantageous, would be a previous level 3 qualification at A level or equivalent and relevant to the role as well. So if you've got A levels or you've got an equivalent level 3 qualification, that will certainly help you meet the criteria for this role as well. Okay. Again, more information on Matalan Jobs in terms of the role criteria. So telling you more about the application overview. So what happens next? Well, you've already seen, hence why you've joined this session today. You've seen that we're active on social media through Life at Matalan, whether that be Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn or Facebook. So we'd definitely sign up and subscribe to our social media channels. We're going to be sharing more info about these and other roles going forward. And you get to find out more about Matalan, Life at Matalan, the culture, the things that we get involved in, the things that our colleagues love and share themselves as well. To submit your application, you need to do that through Matalan Jobs. That's the only one place that you can apply. And the application window closes on the 8th of March. So you've got just little under a month remaining until you need to submit your application. The sooner the better. We will then do a CV screening activity. Successful candidates who meet the role criteria will then be offered an online video interview. Some short example-based questions, really easy to use to give a little bit of flavour about you, and tell us a little bit more about your background and what you think you would add value to the role and the business. Successful candidates on the back of that will then be invited to complete an assessment centre where that will involve an interview and also a presentation. That's all done at the moment during the pandemic, online, remotely via Zoom. So apply through Matalan Jobs, submit your CV. If you're successful, if your CV passes the criteria, you go to video interview, and then you wrap up with an assessment centre online via Zoom. Okay, timeline. So what does that look like? Well, I've just mentioned, first of all, the vacancies went live the 8th of Feb. They closed the 8th of March. So it's a 1-month application window. We will then, throughout March, be viewing your CVs and making sure you fit the right criteria. You will then be offered a video interview to complete during March. In April, there's a bit missing there, sorry. Between March and April, so beginning of April, end of March, beginning of April, we'll conduct our assessment centres. And then successful candidates, there are 4 positions available at the moment. Offers will be made in April. Okay, we will notify you either way in April to let you know your application outcome. Okay. And then during the months of May and June, we'll be interacting with you. We'll be building relationships. You'll get to meet your team remotely or hopefully face-to-face, fingers crossed. We'll engage you and get you ready to start your role in July. And the bit that's missing on there is that you will enroll onto your apprenticeship in July, and you'll get, Fabiola and the team will kickstart you off with some activity, but ultimately you'll join up with your cohort, your apprenticeship group, which could be the other 3 people that are on this program with you, but also people that have got a role with other retail organizations. So I think groups of it, is it 10 or 12 people, Fabiola?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, 10 to 12 people will be on your group going on that 16-month apprenticeship program. You'll get to meet them. And in September, that's when your learning starts for that 16-month period. Okay, so you will join Matalan in July, but your actual apprenticeship program will begin in September onwards. Okay, so that's your timeline that we're working to, guys. Some really, really quick top tips. Hopefully you know these already, and there's lots of information on the internet to support you. Or if you're in college or even school, then your careers team can support you with this. The big thing for me is always update your CV. Make sure your CV is in line and relevant to the role that you're applying for. Look for some of the role activities and what we're looking for from you as an individual. And then you can pull on your experience, showcase that and highlight that through your CV. Obviously, researching Matalan and the role and the job spec is really, really important. So before that role drops off on the 8th of March, you might want to screenshot it or take a copy of it for future reference. Research the Matalan brand. Who are we? What do we stand for? What's important to us? What are our values? And we've covered a lot of that today. What we're looking for from you is not the finished product. We're not looking for someone who is technically gifted in buying or merchandising. We're looking for someone who is genuine, authentic, friendly, shows the right behaviors, has the right attitude, and has a USP, a unique selling point that helps you stand out from the next person. We're looking for someone who is passionate, that demonstrates that passion. They really want to be part of the Matalan team, and they're really passionate about a career in buying and merchandising with Matalan. And naturally, if you do get to sort of video interview and assessment center stage, you will have nerves. That's perfectly normal. Preparation is key. We take into account nerves, but what we're looking for is for you to be confident, really showcase yourself and let us know what you're about and why we should pick you. Okay, just some top tips then. There's plenty on the internet, and I'm sure you can tap into friends, family, colleagues, and also career departments if you're in any form of college. Where I mentioned before, we're on social media. It's a great idea to follow us so you can learn more about, keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in the world of Matalan. And you may not have applied yet. Some of you have, some of you haven't. But when you do apply for Matalan jobs and you read the job description, you'll see the section that encourages encourages you to why not stand out. So if you're looking for your application and you individual, your brand, your application on Matalan to stand out from the crowd and be a little bit different, This is optional, not mandatory, but encouraged. You're welcome to post something on our social media channels, something creative about yourself that you feel best represents why Matalan should pick you for these positions. Remember to tag us at life@Matalan, and also use the hashtag #PickMeMatalan. And already we're starting to see some really fun, quirky, creative and different ideas come through. And why not do the same, guys? If you really want to stand out, if you really want this position and you want to stand out from the next person, then, you know, feel free to do that. We'd love to see more about you and what you're about, and why we should pick you. Okay, so I'm conscious we've gone over the hour mark that we wanted to go for, so apologies for that. But hopefully you've heard some really, really good content, some really good insight from myself, Ria and Fabiola. And we're now going to hand over to you guys. So you're welcome to take yourself off mute, or you could type your question in the chat box, either or, whatever you're more comfortable with. And between the three of us, we're happy to take any questions, guys. So at this point, by the way, I'm going to unrecord the session to protect your identity. So I've done that now.